Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for another video. And today, 9 o'clock on a Sunday, it's a review show special. Now, this is where I take a deep dive into a particular company, a trick, a product, a creator, and I basically tell you everything that you need to know about that trick. And today, I'm going to be talking about the Snow Deck by Magic Dream. Now, I first saw the Snow Deck when I interviewed Yoan, who's one of the co-owners of Magic Dream and also the creator of Snow Deck. I interviewed him on Talk Magic a few weeks ago, and he showed it me. And this is before anyone knew what it was. And I was blown away. It fooled me completely. Since then, it's actually been released. It got released in December. And I saw the Magic Dream stand at the Session Convention. And they were demonstrating the Snow Deck there, and it was blowing magicians away. Like, nobody had a clue what was going on. And I think that's because of a few different factors, but one of which is the subtleties that are built into the Snow Deck to make it seem absolutely impossible. Now, before we go into this review, and I talk to you about exactly what the Snow Deck is, I was lucky enough to, a couple of days ago, sit down and do an interview with Yoan and talk about the Snow Deck. Now, a couple of things happened in this interview. First of all, Yoan explains about what the Snow Deck is, where it came from, and so on and so forth. But the other thing is, Yoan actually performs the Snow Deck, and not just the Snow Deck, but a variation of the Snow Deck that he's going to be talking about for the first time at the Rendezvous Magic Convention, which takes place in Paris in March. And Yoan's doing a lecture, and amongst other things in the lecture, he's going to be talking about other applications of the Snow Deck. And that's the first time this is going to be talked about. Well, he actually explains, well, not explains, but he goes through one of those principles on this interview. So this is a great interview to watch. You actually see the creator perform the trick in a live, uncut performance. And then you also see other applications of the concept as well. So before we go any further with the review, I'm going to play you that interview. Here is Yoan from Magic Dream talking about the Snow Deck. Okay, I am here with the legend, the co-founder of Magic Dream, the co-owner of Magic Dream, the man behind the Snow Deck, the always inspirational, entrepreneurial man himself. Yoan, how are you doing, my friend? Are you well?
Hi, thank you, Craig. Thank you. I'm very good.
Oh, it's great to have you back on the channel. It really is. And I said this off camera just before we started, but I'm going to say it again. Congratulations on everything that Magic Dream are doing. You know, in the dealer room at the session, I think that the Magic Dream booth was the most, you know, was the busiest, and it was the hub for everyone to come over to. But I'm seeing you everywhere, even more than we did before we did our interview together on Talk Magic. It's just been taken to an entirely new level. Everyone's talking about Magic Dream. So yeah, congratulations.
You know my story, Craig, and you know that when the shop burst and we lose everything, we are not going to make the story again. It was for me the hardest thing, but finally it was the best thing it could happen to us. So now we are live, and now we work hard. And as I told you off the camera, I think my staff is a very wonderful team because they work very hard, and Magic Dream for them is like drug. They are completely addicted, and maybe as much as crazy as Guillaume and I, the co-owner and me. So I think the more we work and the more things can happen. So it works.
Absolutely, 100%. And one of the things that everybody is talking about right now is the Snow Deck. Now, I'm going to be reviewing this in a few minutes, and this is an interview about the Snow Deck. I remember you showing it me when we did our initial interview, and you had the prototype there, and you said, hey, would you like to see something new? It fooled me at the time. Having now learnt it and performed it a couple of times, this is so good. I saw your team demonstrating it at the session. Everybody was just bowled over. Nobody had a clue. It's
you know, it's not the prototype. We launched it in November, and it's one of the best launch at Magic Dream ever. So it's really crazy. The success is at the Rendezvous, and it's really crazy because if you perform it now, you saw in the explanation that it's not only round routine, but many routine that you can perform. Of course, the basics is the same, but it's many routine, and Peter Nardi from Alakazam gave us a routine also with another deck, and it's really strong and powerful. We'll explain
Yeah,
that.
that do as I do style routine that he put together was very clever.
And
very, very...
you know something about that very quick, because you know I speak a lot. It's crazy because when I show the Snow Deck to Peter for the first time, it has been more than 7 months that I was working on things. And Peter say, "Oh, have you thought about that?" And I say, wow, why I can't think about this before. And it's crazy that every people has their own way of thinking with something new or something old and something that exists or not. And it's crazy to brainstorm with people because you always think that you have created something that is the best version. And finally, speaking with people who have experiences make the trick crazy and crazy and crazier again.
It's true. And I always love it when a project has substance to it. You know, you see a lot of tricks that come out these days and it's like a 5-minute tutorial. I think that yours was about an hour and a half, and the amount of routines that you went through, it shows that this isn't something that's just been rushed out, but this is something that you've thought of and you've ironed out all of the creases, all of the problems. There's nothing for anyone to worry about because you've got this to a point where it just works.
You spoke about Magic Dream product a few minutes ago, and this is what we want the people think about us. Each and every product where we put our label is always more than half an hour to 1 hour and a half video explanation, not just for the pleasure of speaking with people, but we think that we need to show you an entire way to introduce the trick and many routines. So it's never finished, it's never ended. So, and the proof is that I think during the video explanation of the Snow Deck, I begin the video explanation and I say, "Oh, thank you for purchasing." And I'm sure that you will find something more, or maybe, and I wish you that something better that I did with this, because I'm not convinced that a trick is never ended, never.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Like the way I've been performing it is, I've been switching the deck in from a regular deck. So I've been using a regular deck for whatever I'm doing it with. And then I say, I'm going to try something special. I need my phone. I case the deck and I go into my pockets to get my phone, switching the deck at that point. I just throw it on the table. I don't even realize. And then I say, in my notes page, digital force bag, I've got 100 different things that I could do with this deck. You're going to pick it. It's going to be an interactive performance here. Take the case deck of cards, give me a number from 1 to 100. 23. Okay, look at all these different things. I can make it float. I can make it burst into flames. What have you picked? Make it turn blank. Well, that's going to be difficult. We've just been using it. You've been shuffling it. Okay, make it turn blank. Boom. And then you take the cards back and you open it. And when the cards come out and they're blank, it's like, oh my gosh. But then you've got to the point where you go, well, now it's blank. What can I do with it? Well, let's see if we can reprint it. But let's not reprint everything. Let's just reprint one card. And then I go into the Snow Deck, and it's so versatile. Nice. Yeah, it's so versatile.
If you allow me a minute later in the interview, I will show you something to show your audience on the channel that it's not a trick, it's a concept that I will develop during my lecture. Because now, as I told you, I wrote a lecture that I will be performing for the first time in March during the Rendezvous, which is the Magic Dream Convention. And of course, you are our guest, with also Mario Lopez, Tobias Dostal, Chris Congreve, and many other magicians. So if you have a few minutes just at the end of the interview, I can show you that this is a concept, and I will open the lecture with this. So I can show you, of course, the demo of the Snow Deck, and I can give you something more for the spectators who are watching us now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I'd love you to demonstrate the Snow Deck, and then we can talk all about the convention. That would be great.
Yes, sure. So let me show you. Here we go. I like the kind of stuff that you can speak to the audience with a story, and this story is very simple. Those cards are blank, totally blank playing cards. But the idea is not showing a blank playing card. The idea is to tell the audience that every single day you can write something different in your life. And I like this kind of story. So showing the 52 blank cards like this, I'm just going to ask you, Craig, for example, if I show you these cards, can you see a playing card? Just a playing card. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, can you name me the color?
That is the 4 of diamonds.
The 4 of diamonds.
Oh, it's red. Yeah, sorry, red.
Red 4 of diamonds?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Red 4 of diamonds.
So this is important because this is your imagination and not mine. And of course, if another people was with us, I could ask him, what card are you seeing? And maybe he can see another one. So the 4 of diamonds, you told me, right?
Yeah.
And that's strange because for me, the 4 of diamonds is any other card than this one. But for you, and that's the main part, this is the 4 of diamonds.
Yes.
And we did it. Snap my finger, only one red back design. And this is the 4 of diamonds.
No way. That's insane. I love that. I love that so much. That's just brilliant.
Yeah, completely free choice. That's something that I really want to insist on, that because there are other stuff that could exist. And we work hard to make this happen with a completely free choice.
It's just brilliant. It's brilliant.
And it works very well because there are so many convincers, and of course you need to be convinced about what you are doing. So it's very, very, very important. I haven't changed the plan, but of course we could have changed the video, but it works like this. And something I wanted to show to the audience is that it can work with anything, because in fact, not that we are not trying to sell you something, but we are selling you also a concept. So just to show you something very nice with your imagination again, I would like you to think about a man or a woman, no matter, but somebody, it's important to be charged with emotion. And it's important for me that you think about him or her with a huge emotional part. And I would like you to think about his zodiac sign. Okay. And any zodiac sign, but the zodiac sign of the man or the woman you love or you like or you are thinking of.
Okay.
And can you see the zodiac sign printed off or writing on just on the card, just there?
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you let me know, please?
Aries.
Aries. So my mom is Aries also. And but for me, this card does not represent Aries, but because it's not my imagination, it's yours. Aries for me is this one. But no matter what count is your imagination and not mine. So I'm going to put this into the middle of the small packet of cards, and I only have to snap my finger, and now, believe it or not, I have one card that appears there, and which is exactly Aries.
That's incredible. That is brilliant.
So that means it's just the beginning. In fact, I think with Snow Deck, we open a new door, and could be a color, it could be a brand new things with object that you can draw or whatever you want. And it's just a concept. And this is the idea, and I will perform it and develop during the lecture.
Yeah, my mind is racing. My mind is racing. That's great. That's
and
brilliant.
It's nice because you can sign it, put the date, and offer to the spectator. And it's fun because it's normal one, this one.
That's amazing. That's really good. Really, really good. Wow.
So you need the basics of Snow Deck in your mind. And after that, you can create anything like that with any subjects, I think.
How did you, from a creativity point of view, how did you come up with the concept of the Snow Deck?
So as you told, I'm the co-owner at Magic Dream, and my job is to work with the international part and to work with the creative minds. Every creator that have an idea goes and speak with me, So of course, I have many friends also in the magic industry, because I'm now working in the magic industries since 20 years. And a friend of mine, which is a creator, which is called Sebastian Calbry, who has created many things, who has created many things before. A day he came up with an effect with double back cards, and it's what's not really clear in his mind, but he was convinced that he has a good idea. After some research, his idea looked like petroleum, which is a magic trick launched a few years before. Is from Max Lukian, and I think his idea was too similar than this. It was like a triumph and something like that, but I say it was a good idea, but not enough to make a magic dream label, and too similar that something exists. And finally, about 1 month later, I literally, and that's true, believe me or not, I literally woke up from my short night with the Snow Deck ID. It was different than what Sebastian showed me, but when I woke up, I was feeling that I thought about that during the night, because my brains keep on working on Sebastian ideas. And so, because I am with an honesty, intellectual honesty, I called Sebastian and I say, okay, look, I've just drawn something and I would like to perform it in front of the camera. So I showed to Sebastian the Snow Deck, the first version, the very first version. There was no back of card appeared. And he say, I don't understand. That's not my idea. Why do you show me that? And I say, because I really trust that this is thanks to what you showed me 1 month before, that my brains keep on working of that kind of stuff. And so after that, I sent him a prototype and he worked with that. And I say that I would like him to work with me on the project and create some 1 or 2 or 3 routines. And this is how the deck comes. It was only with a draw. And after that, I show to my team and they say, wow, it's impossible that it does not exist. Everybody thought that it was roofing or was a thin card from Card Shark or something like that. And finally, I show them how it works. And they say, it's impossible, it doesn't exist. It's so simple. And we keep on researching things. So of course, we find many things with blank playing cards, but each and every time it was not exactly the same, and it was not direct. Sometimes it was using the magician choice, sometimes it was using another kind of stuff. So I'm really proud, because I think that Snow Deck is really original, offer many routines, and it's like playing cards, but like mentalism effect with using imagination. So this is the things I love.
Absolutely. I'm very glad that you created it. So very briefly, obviously, I'm going to do a review of it in a few minutes, but while I've got you here, can you talk for a few minutes about your lecture and the Rendezvous convention?
Yes, for sure. During 4 years, once a year. I think this is the 4th edition this year. So Rendezvous is a 3-day magic convention. It's a very small magic convention, not the 500 people, only 150 people meeting them together in a Disneyland hotel, so just around Disneyland. And so during 3 days, we are living magic together with a lecturer. So as I told you, of course, you are our guest and you will perform your wonderful new lecture, you told me. So
brand new lecture, brand new, never before seen.
That's very good. And so we will get on board also Tobias Dostal, Mario Lopez, Chris Congreve, so Craig, I forgot someone, I think, and 2 French guys, which is Philippe Molina, which is a creative guy from small deck of cards, packet trick. And my very first lecture, I will open the convention in the Friday 17th. So it's 17th, 18th, and 19th of March this year. That's and it's called the Rendezvous. And what is interesting, it's like I think we can compare it to the session because it's very familiar. And what I love is that lecturer takes time to speak with people. And this is the best thing we love, because of course, people can meet each other and meet the lecturer during 3 days. And that's very, very cool. And we will have we have a party, which is the opener welcome party. And I think this year it will be a casino party like we saw in events and corporate. So it will be fun this year.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got some fantastic some fantastic names lined up. Good grief.
Yeah.
And there's going to be dealers there as well. I heard a little rumor that Alakazam.
Yes, we are opening dealer reservation at the end of month. So of course there will be dealers and maybe to thanks dealers to come and support us. I think we will open the dealer room to every people. Even if you haven't paid for the convention, I think we are going to open the dealer room to everyone to help people make business and show their new creation. I love small convention because people only bring not all the shops, only the really good stuff or the best-selling effect or the new one. And so this is the place to be to see new stuff and speaking with creators and dealers. So it's very good. It's very good. And of course, my first lecture, I remember speaking about this with you a few months ago. So now it's nearly finished, and I hope to play this around the world maybe a day. But today it's in France, and it's a symbol for me because this is the first one for me, and it will be at the rendezvous for Magic Dream and our customers and friends. So the lecture is named 3M, like the worldwide mark for mentalists with post-it and etc. So it's and 3M, it's a symbol about also magic, mentalism, and motivation. That means, as you know me now, it's not only about magic and mentalism. It's not only about how it works, it's also why it works. And this is the orientation of the lecture. And I love the idea about 3M because I know you know about the 3 monkeys that never see, never heard, or never speak. And I think it's a very good symbol for mentalism people. So yeah, this is the name of the lecture.
That's great.
I would love to get more English people on board because it's in Disneyland. So if you want to come with family and put your wife and son at Disney, it's the perfect way to go.
And it's so easy to get to Paris.
Yeah, you get the Eurostar now is very easy to take. And it's not so expensive, I think, when you book earlier, 1 month ago only, it's not so expensive to come in Paris. So it will be very nice to get on board more English people. There is 4 lecturers that speak English, so most of the lecture will be in English, and it will be only translate on Zoom for people who don't speak English, who doesn't speak English very well. So it's very nice for English people to come and go to the Rendezvous Magic Convention. It's a bit like now, I think, the Magic Dream annual party. It's very fun. It's very, very fun.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm really excited. And obviously, I know we're going to do another interview about this nearer the time, but you've got Blackpool coming up. You're going to have some incredible stuff at Blackpool. You've mentioned some of the things that you're going to have there.
Yes, 2 new products will be launched at Blackpool. So as I told you, we work very hard to launch product. Not only we want to launch product, we want to launch good quality product and original one. So the more we put our label on quality, and the best it is for the market and for everyone, I think.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yoan, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
On Magic TV. I will be seeing you in Blackpool. Obviously, we're doing another interview beforehand, but everybody can pick up the Snow Deck. You obviously, your Magic Dream products don't go to every dealer around the world because you don't put them in Murphy's, but they can get them directly from you. You also
I think they will get it, but not now. The first part is now, because not only because this is me and I created this. The more we do is for creation now, and if we go too quick on the wholesaling circuit, it's a bit difficult to make money with the for the creators. So the Snow Deck is not an exception. So first we try to sell a lot directly to customer and some exclusive magic shop in the world. So in England, it's Peter Nardi from Alakazam and Harry. And so if you want to get it, you can get on our website or maybe on Alakazam website, which is one of our best partner in the world.
Yeah, you and Alakazam have always had a great relationship with each other. I'm
Yeah.
very aware of that. That's fantastic. So excellent. Thank you so much, Yoan. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
And
so much for getting me on board.
you're more than welcome. I'm going to go back into the studio now and sum it all up. But one more time, thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care.
So, first of all, thank you to Yoan. I think Magic Tune are a great company. I think Yoan is amazing. As I said to Yoan, this review is going to be completely 100% unbiased. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Now, what I think is that the Snow Deck is brilliant. It really is. Now, what we have here, in essence, is one card printing in a blank deck. And I've seen a lot of people compare this to something like mental photography. And it's nothing like mental photography, really. And the reason it's nothing like mental photography is because the concept of mental photography is you have a blank deck of cards that's printed. Every card is printed. Or you have a printed deck of cards that turns blank. This is more like Alone by David Regal, or Fade Away from the Quantum Deck, or Brainbuster by Mark Leverage. Those sort of tricks where one card and one card only ends up printed in the deck. The advantage this has over any of those methods is there's no short and long, there's no rough and smooth at all. The method used to actually create this is really clever. Now, up until this point, the method that I've kind of used outside of Fade Away, which is kind of a different thing because it's a forced card, but if I was going to do it as a standalone trick, the method I've always used is the Mark Leverage Brainbuster, which has just been re-released by Big Blind Media. I actually think that the Snow Deck is better. And the reason that I think the Snow Deck is better is because the displays that you get at the beginning and the subtleties that Yoan has built into the actual trick, and there are a lot of subtleties. So there's a lot of moments where you honestly believe that you're seeing cards that are blank on both sides, like just you would be convinced that the cards are completely blank. There's a lot of moments like that. Just look at the opening display. Go and look at the performance by Yoan again, and look at how innocent everything seems. It's not like he's trying to show the deck. It's not like, it doesn't even come across as like a typical Magic performance where, look, I've got these cards, they're blank on both sides. He's just talking, and as he's talking, your brain is registering that these cards are completely blank, and the displays that he's got while doing that are really good. They're really, really good. And the reason that those displays are possible is because of how the deck's constructed and the gimmicks that are used. In terms of practicality, so it's a very practical trick. Obviously, the cards can't be examined in any way, shape, or form. You couldn't have any of the cards in the deck examined. You couldn't even a little bit. I'm trying to think. You couldn't have the deck. You couldn't have the deck examined. Not even a little bit. Even at the end, when you have the card printed in the deck, you can't have that card printed. You can't have anything printed. Now, that would be an issue with some tricks. I don't think this is an issue. I've performed this a couple of times now, and I've never had an issue with people even wanting to look at the deck. And that surprised me, because when you've got a blank deck, it's something that's kind of interesting to the spectators. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, maybe if I start with a real blank deck and then I go into this. And so I was trying to come up with various different ways of doing this. But it seems that nobody wants to look at it. And I think it's because of how subtly yet powerful the proving displays are that lead up to the climax, if that kind of makes sense. But yeah, the cards can't be examined, but I don't think that's an issue at all. You don't need a table. There's a few moments in the tutorial and in the performance where Yoan spreads the deck on the table, but you don't need to do that. You don't have to spread the deck on the table if you don't want to. Everything can be done in the spectators, in your hands, or in the spectators' hands. And that's the other thing. They're holding cards at various different points. It just feels really fair. So the trick can be done in the spectators' hands. It's about a 5-second reset, and then you reset, ready to go again. There's no angle issues to speak of. There's no sleight of hand, really. It's completely self-working. All you need to do is learn the sequence and learn what you do when you do it, if that kind of makes sense. It's Pack small plays big. It really does play to a big audience. I can see this working to a lot of people. The tutorial is really good. So the tutorial runs about an hour and a half, and it's Yoan and his business partner, I think, sitting there together, just basically going through all the different variations. Because Yoan goes through the first routine, takes about half an hour to go through the first routine, and then goes through lots of different variations. My favourite is by Peter Nardi. Peter suggests that you do it as kind of like a do as I do style routine. So you have you have two decks of cards, one printed, one not printed. You take the printed deck, you have a card taken out of it, using various different methods, like a marked deck, for example. You know what that card is, and you go into the routine. Really clever, really nice way of doing it. You probably heard in the interview, the way I've been playing around with it is the deck turning blank first, so a finale to a card set. So you do your card routine, whatever you want to do. You then go into this blank. You turn the deck blank in the spectators' hands, and then you have them name a card. I also think this could be a decent follow-on to the quantum deck. So you do the quantum deck, and the card appears at the particular number that they name. And then you put the deck back in the box, and as you go to put it away, you go, actually, can I do one more thing? And you take the cards back out. They still think it's the blank deck that they've just examined. And then you say, well, we're going to try and do one more thing. We're going to try it rather than having a card in a particular number, this time we'll try and print one card in the deck. How does that sound? And kind of go into that kind of concept. That works really well as well. So yeah, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. It's very, very practical. The only issue is the examinability thing, bit of audience management, and when you understand how the routine works, I honestly don't think that's an issue. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really solid. It's one of the best blank tricks I've ever seen. One of the best blank deck tricks that I've ever seen. The thinking and the methodology behind it is brilliant. And as you saw in the interview with Yoan, he has professed that once you understand the sequence and the system, it can apply to other things. So you saw Yoan perform this with star signs, which is a really clever idea. But beyond star signs, I mean, the sky is literally the limit. What you have here, what Yoan has created, when you think about it along the route of the star sign thing, is an open index or a multiple out for like 50 or 60 things. And once you understand it's like a multiple out for 50 or 60 things, well then, the sky's the limit. Your mind is racing with ideas, and my mind has been racing with ideas ever since I did the interview with Yoan. So I can see a lot of people incorporating the Snow Deck principle into other tricks moving forward in the coming weeks and months and years. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 100%. I think it's really good. I think it's super fun. It's already up there on my trick of the year list, but obviously we're only a couple of weeks in. But yeah, I think that it's a solid trick, and I don't think anybody who buys it will be disappointed with the quality, the tutorial, everything about it screams class. It's really good. Now, if you've got this far, let's have a look at a performance of me doing the Snow Deck to one of my team. How are you doing, Jack?
Ooh, potential trick of the year.
Yeah, it's really good. You're going to use your imagination. You got good imagination, Jack?
Oh, I love my imagination.
Good stuff. Not too creepy at all.
I work in marketing, I have to be imaginative.
Good to know. The reason you got to use your imagination is this is a blank deck of cards. These are what cards look like before they're printed. It's very difficult, to be honest, Jack, to get a deck of cards like this. You've got to know somebody who works with a playing card company, and then they take them and they sneak them out on the graveyard shift.
I'm sure you know a person or two.
I do. These cards are just completely blank. They're blank on the fronts. They're blank on the backs. Hopefully you can see that. 52 cards. 52 possibilities, but all of them are blank. Now, I said this was about your imagination, and it is about your imagination, buddy. I want you to, let's take that one. I'm going to put that card here. Now, first of all, what colour do you imagine that card to be?
Black.
You imagine it to be black?
Yeah.
Okay, I meant the back design.
Oh, sorry, blue.
Blue. Yeah. You see, you're going to have to work on your imagination because it's red. It's red. You're going to have to work on your imagination. But we can work on the front and let's see if it's any better. Because everyone's imagination is different, right? So, what would you say you said it was a black card, right?
Yep.
So would it be a club or a spade?
A spade.
And what value would it be?
A jack.
It would be the jack of spades. See, that's interesting. Do you know why that's interesting? Because to me, this one here is the jack of spades.
Mm-hmm.
everybody's got a different imagination, Jack. So to me, this looks like the Jack of Spades, but it's not about me, it's about you. It's about you and your imagination. And you see this as a Jack of Spades, right?
Yeah.
With a red back.
That's right.
Let's see if we can make our imagination turn into reality. Push it in for me. Now, when I showed you that card, did you really imagine it as a Jack of Spades? Yeah?
I really did.
With a red back.
A red back.
See if we can turn imagination into reality, because now you can see that there's one red-backed card right there.
It's never.
I don't know. It might be. It might not be. If it is, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Are you ready? There it is. The Jack of Spades. And you were able to imagine the exact correct card in that deck right from the beginning. Well done. So there you go, guys. That is the Snow Deck by Magic Dream. Congratulations, guys. It's an amazing product. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow at 6 o'clock with Magic Live and at 9 o'clock with another video. So make sure that you check that out. I'll be back with a 5x5 tomorrow as well, so that's pretty exciting. And I will be back again every single day this coming week. 27 videos a week right here on Magic TV. But more importantly, if you haven't already joined the Netrix, please do so. The URL is www.thenetrix.com. That's www.thenetrix.com. You can access it now and see what all the fuss is about and see why hundreds of people are signing up every single week. We have a 0.06% cancellation rate. So for everybody who's joined, thank you so much. Go check out that. And I will see you again soon on another video. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.